A greenhouse is a great investment for your garden. It will extend the season at both ends, give you somewhere to potter even when the weather's foul, and grow lots of lovely plants. Here's what you need to know if you're thinking about getting one. Extending the season means making it possible to sow seeds earlier in the year and then carry on growing things later in the year. And a greenhouse enables you to do just that. Where are you going to put it? Should it run north-south or east-west? I don't think it matters a fig, so long as the greenhouse itself is in an open, well-lit situation. And the advantage there is that plants don't have to seek out the light. Put a greenhouse in a shady spot and your plants will grow tall and spindly as they're reaching for the light. If it's brightly lit, they don't need to do that. Whatever material your greenhouse is made from, it must stand on solid, stable foundations. The manufacturers will advise some of them need more than others. Obviously, a weighty greenhouse needs deeper foundations. Here, this one is built just on very stable paving, and it's fastened to that paving, and it's absolutely solid. Ask the manufacturer what they recommend. If you want to get started really early in the season, inside this greenhouse I have a little electric fan heater, which is why it's useful to have electricity piped to your greenhouse. I use it just to keep the temperature above freezing. You don't need to heat a greenhouse to tropical proportions. If you can keep the frost out and keep it heated to around 45-50 degrees, you can grow pelargoniums, geraniums. That's what I do with these. And they'll tick over through the winter quite happily. Only half the thing about a greenhouse is getting it warmed up. The vital thing in spring and summer is that you can cool it down, and you can do that with ventilation to allow hot air out. The biggest killer of plants in winter in a greenhouse, aside from plummeting temperatures, is fungus disease, botrytis, grey mould, and that thrives in a stagnant, damp atmosphere. So good air circulation, and in a mild day, opening the door, let the air come in, and the plants will thank me for it. I've got here a little plant factory. You'll see at the end here what looks like a cold frame. Well, it is a cold frame, but I brought this in from outdoors where it's just giving protection from the weather to use it as a propagating frame. I've put soil warming cables in sand at the bottom of it, and that means I can start seeds and seedlings in that case with the lid down several weeks in advance of being able to sow seeds outside. So that's why this is my little treasure, and it's a wonderful way of having a little sanctuary in the garden if there are times when you just want to get out of the house. If you have a small garden, then a greenhouse that sits against a wall or a lean-to greenhouse is a great way to make the most of limited space. With a smaller greenhouse, do make sure you can get one with removable shelves. That way, you can remove them once certain plants are ready to go out and put in grow bags for crops like tomatoes later in the spring. That way, you can adapt the layout to your changing needs and different plant types throughout the seasons. Another option, if space or cost is even more limited, is a cold frame. I have a number of them in my garden, but you can buy wooden frames as a kit, and they're easy to put together. One of the main benefits is that they can be moved around the garden to a suitable spot for growing different types of crops. What a cold frame also does is act as a halfway house between the greenhouse and the garden. If you're growing plants in the sheltered, warm confines of a greenhouse and then you put them straight outdoors into the ground, it's a bit of a shock. So if you bring them out into an unheated, cold frame and put the lid down at night, lift it up during the day when the weather's warmer, you're eventually accustoming them to the great outdoors, and then they can be planted out into the garden. One thing that I think is essential to have in a greenhouse is guttering. We're all very conscious now of conserving water supplies, particularly in summer, and plants love rainwater. So these gutters catch the water down that little pipe and into a galvanised water butt here with a tap on it, so I can fill a watering can and make sure that I'm using rainwater for as much of the season as possible. When it comes to maintaining a greenhouse, winter is the most important time. Through the summer, you don't need to do too much, but in winter, you need to make sure that you get as much light transmission as possible. And that means cleaning the glass to get rid of all this green stuff. Through the year, gradually, mould and green algae builds up on the glass. Over the summer, it gets more and more opaque, the light transmission drops. You'll need a good stiff broom on the end of a handle, dip it in lightly soapy water, nothing too dramatic, and then just go up and down and up and down, getting rid of all that green. It's very satisfying, provided you can stop the water from running right the way down to your elbow. If you don't wash the greenhouse glass, you'll find that your plants don't get nearly so much light. They get tall, they get spindly while they're searching for it. So good light transmission is key. I'm doing the outside now because it's fair weather. The other thing you need to do is to clean the inside of the glass as well. Particularly if the greenhouse is warm, green algae will build up there as well. And when I finish doing this, I'll just wash off all this soapy sod water, and with it will come the green gunge, and every single plant growing in this greenhouse will say, "Oh, thank you, Alan." The greenhouse really is the engine room of the garden, and it will allow you to grow so many more different kinds of plants. I spent my first day at work way back in the 1960s in a greenhouse. I loved it then, and I love it even more now. This is my happy place. If you want more gardening advice and inspiration like this, then why not subscribe to my channel? I'm posting new videos every week.